Hi guys, welcome to the latest episode of Random Colored Guys with Gerard, Raji and Colby. That's me.
If it wasn't for COVID-19, we'd probably have finished sixth.
Essentially, he's cheaper than Pepe, which is just saying, yeah. No, it's not about money, my friend. The people want to play for Chelsea. They want to come to Chelsea. They can see we've been moving.
That's a very slow backline besides Silva.
Slow!
Thiago doesn't have the legs anymore.
How do you know? That man
Thiago
is
is
35 though.
He's 35 still.
And so is Ronaldo.
Yeah, but
That we win the league, not gonna happen. But what we're gonna do, win the league, and then they say Thiago Silva was the most brilliant and clever free sign. Liverpool dropping out of the top four.
Whoa!
So today we are going to unpack the transfer window for United and Chelsea. Has it gone well? Who do you want to come in? Who do you want to go? So let's start. Gerard, we were driving to you this morning. This is at Gerard's house, guys, by the way. So we were driving this morning and I told Raji that it's almost like Roman knew about COVID now. This transfer ban was the best thing that could have happened to Chelsea. Because we were just keeping the money.
He's a Russian mafia boss, so who knows?
But what helped is he's finished in Champions League spot. You wouldn't have been able to sign these players that
If you
Chelsea
didn't
signing
have-
if he's would have played Champions League football.
We didn't even need to sign Havertz. I have to be honest. We got a lot of central midfielders.
You do. If you think about it though, Werner took a risk because he agreed
Before
you qualified for Europe and he gave up the Red Bull Champions League quarters or semi.
Yes.
He gave it up and he said he's going to sign for Chelsea. So he took a chance, but it was a calculated risk. It
That's what
wasn't
money does.
That is also.
That's
No,
No, it's not about money, my friend. The people want to play for Chelsea. They want to come to Chelsea. They can see we've been moving. Kai Havertz watched a few videos. I was telling Raj he's got the ability to slow the game down. He's got killer weight on his passes. So I see why Lampard wanted him. Also, I think when someone that good becomes available, you cannot say no. Because if someone else takes him, they're
I
gonna
think that
I've never seen him play.
I think I watched him play once, but like the point of why you signed him, I think, is because nobody else was fighting for him.
That was the chance to get him.
It's like you had no better chance. Like right now, next year you probably have Barca, Madrid, Bayern, and whoever else like trying to fight for him.
And that's what what's her name? Mia Grafisneste, the Chelsea transfer woman. That's what she said. This woman is calculated. I was like reading interviews with her, and she was explaining how it works. You know, and she was saying that of course they have to go for Havertz because they'll get 5 good years out of him. If it doesn't work out, they can recoup their money because he'll still be young enough to sell 26, or they can extend his contract, and they won't pay as much as they would have paid now. Because I mean, essentially he's cheaper than Pepe, which is just saying, yeah.
Pepe, let's not talk about Pepe and his 72 million fee, but it seems like you know this lady personally.
I love it. Look here, so I
But
was.
she's been there since the start, no? Since Roman came.
Yeah, she is Roman's right hand in the business world, not even for Chelsea, for his companies and stuff. So now she was
anything.
Yeah, so she was explaining exactly what, like they asked now, will Chelsea's young players be hurt? So she said no, the loan moves with the players is business. They will take you, they will put you in the shop window, they will lift your profile. If you're good enough, you'll play. If not, we'll sell you and make money. But that module won't change.
It's a win-win for everyone. With those players that are loaned out, they still get to play first team football at a big team, relatively speaking. So they still become professional footballers. It's just that Chelsea's hogging them all.
Yeah, look at Batshuayi going to Crystal Palace again on loan.
But why not then just sell him?
We can't. Like they want to pay what he's worth, so we're putting him in the corner.
But then he's not worth it.
No.
Is he really worth?
We'll hold up. We're not paying anything. So what happens is the club.
Is he even any good? I've watched him so
he
much.
scored 2 goals for Belgium in the.
But anyone can score for Belgium. They're that good.
So essentially, we're taking a player Okay, you paying us a loan fee to loan the player, and you paying his wages.
Did they take full 100% of the
Of his
wages?
yeah. So the only time that there's an argument with the wages is when you have a
United players.
Sanchez years that their wages are so high. But Batusha and those guys, they're not on high wages. Even like Conor Gallagher, all our youngsters, they're all on minimal wages. So it's fine.
So then, okay, so we spoke about the fact that you signed good players. So what happens to your youngsters that thought they were getting a good chance of game time? Because that's what happened last year, and they got you to
They got,
first
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Now, are they going to get a chance to play? What happens to Mason Mount?
Do you know what I do like about Chelsea is that every player is so versatile.
Is there things you don't
So-
like about Chelsea? You do support Chelsea.
The thing is, Mason Mount is not just a central midfielder. He can play on the right, on the left. He can play on the top right and top left. You'll get his chances. I think that these players are actually going to up his game, and other players might be dropped. I really do. I have faith in Mason
You
Mount.
think he's that good?
The person I'm worried about, or the two people I'm worried about, is Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Ross Barkley, and Kovacic. Because Ross Barkley shows you glimpses of brilliance, not consistent. Loftus-Cheek was trying to get back to what he was before.
Injured a lot.
Yeah, and Kovacic, I like him, man. I all action type of guy. But those three, I think, is not going to see a lot of game time.
I would put Jorginho on the bench then.
No,
Because
Jorginho's
I'd
gone.
Kante.
Is he gone?
No, he's not gone anyway. He's gone in my mind. I don't even rate him. He mustn't play. I'm just sorry he needs to sign a club so he can f off to Sari. Because I don't want him in my team. He doesn't fit our type of players. All action, gung-ho, press. He's clever, but not for us.
So then would you have your midfield as Kovacic and Kante behind Havertz or Mount?
So yeah, we're gonna.
And that's gonna be Havertz.
It's gonna be Havertz. So we're gonna play
But is it going to be Havertz because of how good he is or because of how much you pay for him?
because of how good he is. I've watched
So
him.
you
He
think he's better
can
than-
control the game. He's like a mixture of Tony Kroos and Michael Ballack, and he's faster than both of
He
them.
looks thin.
He is. He's also 6'2", so he's big.
He's a big, that's why
So-
I think I read that he's
So
not.
easy better than Bruno Fernandes.
Not the same
Because
type of
I
player.
think there's only one player better than Bruno Fernandes, and that's probably the brain.
But Fernandes is like a pure 10, man. Where Havertz isn't a pure 10. He can be a 8, 9 or 10.
But and Bruno, the way Bruno runs, he can be an 8
He can
also.
be a defender.
Yeah, like there's nothing Bruno Fernandes can't do.
The only thing I've seen him, the only place I've seen him play is the 10 for United. So I don't know what else he can do. And he's pretty good when he plays it. So I wouldn't even mess with him.
So okay. So then your left wing is Pulisic.
Pulisic's.
Your right wing is Ziyech.
Yes. Now here's the thing. They are not going to be fit the whole season. Mason Mount can either play in that midfield or he can move to either left or right. Challenge him. Kepa's going nowhere.
Okay.
He's going nowhere.
So-
Need to
so-
check center.
So then we've got Kepa as your goalkeeper.
Kepa.
Who's your left back?
Obviously Chilwell.
I hate that they got him, but I wouldn't. I would have
Chilwell
loved- if we
or
didn't have
Shaw?
Shaw, I would have gladly taken Shaw. But I'm happy with Shaw. I know other United fans feel different.
No, I have
I
nothing
also like
against
Shaw.
I have nothing against Shaw, man. I just think that going forward,
Could be more dynamic.
we need some creativity. A lot of big teams nowadays, creativity is via
From
the
the
fullbacks.
fullbacks, yeah.
And we have our other fullback is
Wan-Bissaka, and he's not.
he's the best defensive player we have.
Yeah.
And then we have Luke Shaw, who's a bit of both.
Yeah.
Where I say we have get creativity down the left to help Rashford. Not that he needs help, but
No, I think,
About
I think he needs help.
You know what I would say? I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, defender must defend, man.
Yeah.
So I look at Espilicueta, he's one of my favorite players. And he's not fancy, but he's useful, he's good defensively, he's solid, but he always
does he still make your team?
Of course he does.
Well,
James
you
is
guys
not
are
gonna stop.
basically
We were getting
We were getting there.
okay. We're like the same age, so
So,
that's it.
Dave, the old Dave.
Dave,
Chilwell,
Chilwell left back.
Rudiger, Thiago, Silva.
Okay.
Huh? Espilicueta.
that's a
Okay, so not
that's a
Christian.
very slow backline besides Chilwell.
Slow.
Thiago doesn't have the legs anymore.
Thiago-
How do you know? That
Thiago
man
is-
is 35 though.
He's 35 still.
And so is Ronaldo.
Yeah, but
No. This guy doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's gonna give us a good season.
Okay. How many Ballon d'Ors has he won? You can't compare to the great players.
Yeah, I'm just saying that your right back is slow.
Your centre back
He's slow. Rudiger isn't as like he's okay,
Look, this guy's a German international.
but he's not.
No, he's good. He's good.
Our problem was
I don't
never
like
speed
him.
in
No,
defense.
I'm just joking.
Our problem was never speed.
Yeah, but you need that when you face.
No, we need consistency. We need people clever who's gonna know what positions to vacate, what spaces to move into. We need brains in our defense. We conceded 51 goals. 54. This cannot happen
Yeah,
again.
but that's because Lampard, like I think we spoke about this before. Lampard as a player, he only went forward. He only went forward because that's what he did. He scored goals.
Yeah.
His mindset was never to go back to defend. And I think that's the same as
His team.
as him as a manager. All he thinks is going forward. You can't argue that because he just spent over 200 million just on attacking players. So one centre back he got for free.
Okay. So, highly rated.
He's
centre
gone.
back.
He's not playing with you. So
Yes, because we loaned him out
he
now.
might be on loan for the next 5 years.
Yes, but look at Lampard. I'm just explaining that he's thinking about the defense. The Barcelona youngster. What's his name?
We talk about this season when you're supposed to be in the league.
So let's do it. Come in hearing here, you're attacking me here. Okay, so highly rated French centre back under 21. Okay, bought him, loaned him out to get more experience with Schalke. Used as a make weight in the Everton team.
Schalke or
Liverpool and Schalke. Same thing.
It's like Valencia and
Okay, what's the Dutch boy's name from Holland?
That's
Barcelona.
Holland.
Barcelona.
You would be from
What's his name? Ogo. Some guy from Barcelona that we signed. 18-year-old. They call him the next Van Dijk.
But how are they helping your season coming?
Hang bought two highly rated centre backs. Okay, loaned them out. Brought in defensive stability in Thiago Silva. Old but able to pass on his knowledge to Zuma.
Remember the last World Cup? They played against he played against a certain German team
Oh.
and they lost 7-1. Was he playing or was he injured?
I think he was.
He might have been injured.
This is probably why they lost him. No?
But he also might have been playing.
Thiago
Okay,
Silva's
okay.
sole purpose is to teach our youngsters.
And that's fine.
That's what is there.
That's fine. Okay. So then you've got Chilwell,
The youngsters that they lost out.
Espilicueta and
Now talk
Kepa.
about Zuma and
Okay.
So then, if you got your back four or five, what
four.
position are you playing for? Are you having a holding mid or are you having two holding mid?
two, Kante and Kovacic.
Okay.
Not that they need to be sitting all the time, but they need to obviously be clever enough to read the game. Okay? Then in front of Kante and Kovacic we're having Havertz. Okay? Zic on the right wing, Pulisic on the left wing, Werner in the middle.
Okay, cool. So then let's talk about subs for your attackers because no one really cares about subs for defenders. Your left
Certainly
wing,
not Lampard.
certainly not Lampard. Your left wing is Pulisic. The sub for him would be Mount
Or Hudson-Odoi.
or Hudson-Odoi. Okay. Your right wing is Ziyech. Your sub for him would be
Mount or
or
Hudson-Odoi.
Hudson-Odoi. Okay.
Sound like Hudson and Doy and Mount is the sub for.
That's the way I'm getting
It's the
it.
strongest people that I want to play.
So then for Havertz,
The sub would be Mount. Are we seeing the continuity?
or
What's his name? Tall boy, Loftus-Cheek,
Barkley.
or Barkley.
Yeah, they both played number.
They both played
ten.
number 10.
Okay, so why do you have 12 strikers? Because now I need to understand. You've got Werner, you've got Giroud, you've got Abraham. Like
I think Giroud's gonna go. I don't see Giroud sitting another season on the bench. And he's gonna sit a lot on the bench because unless Werner gets injured, Giroud's gonna sit on the, and the way he is,
Can I tell you something?
I think he's gonna want to leave.
He is
How old is he
the
now?
consummate professional. He doesn't throw his toys out of the cot. Even when we blocked his move last season, in December, he stayed, he fought, he proved himself. I think he's that confident that he thinks he's gonna fuck up Abraham and Werner in his mind.
So for this season then, who's your key man?
I don't know yet. I'll have to first watch. I don't train with him every day. I know we all have our opinions, man. But But we don't see what happens on the pitch, and I don't want to be that supporters that get excited and this is going to be the savior of Chelsea, because I don't think it works out like that.
It's not going to be a defender.
It might just be. It might be that we win the league, not going to happen, but it might be that we win the league, and then they say Thiago Silva was the most brilliant and clever free signing.
So he could be the Van Dijk of Chelsea.
Could be. Doubt it though. 7 new players, guys. It's going to take us a while.
But then, okay, so then why do you play this down? So this is a conversation we have all the time because we have a WhatsApp group and we argue about this all the time. We always say we make jokes about the fact that Chelsea should now win this title. They have, on paper, the second or third best team in the league. Liverpool don't have the best team. They've got the best, most dedicated, hard-working players, and they work the best under what Klopp has done, right?
Perfect.
And that's why they won, because they fought not for themselves, but for each other. That's how I looked at it. That, like, they will jump on grenades for each other, and that's just what it seems like, right? City, best squad in the league, simple. But now, Chelsea is probably second in terms of depth.
Yeah. So
I'll put United there as well because we've obviously got good players. Maybe not as much now.
Not as much depth.
Can I tell you?
Yeah, because our first team is brilliant.
Yeah.
We don't have any subs.
We now have one.
Everything you said completely true.
I know. That's why I said it.
Okay. Players don't win you titles. Teams win you titles, and team chemistry is something that we take for granted, and that's what Liverpool have. Team chemistry, like you said, they don't have the best players, but the way they gel together, that's the thing, and that's what I have to wait and see from Chelsea. Bruno Fernandes came, and guess what? He was your missing piece of the puzzle. All of a sudden, everybody else is playing. You also have that chemistry.
Bruno Fernandes is amazing.
City also. Gotta marry him.
Like I could.
So City has the same thing. So for me now, Chelsea needs to build that chemistry. We might win a few games, like 10 in a row or something like that.
You have the manager to bring it all together.
It's going to be the test. He's never had big games. He did well last season because everybody had absolute faith in him. The youngsters allowed him to do this and that. Whatever. It's different when you have
it's his third season as a manager.
That's right. It's Andrea Pirlo's first season as Juventus manager.
If you look at
but that's Juventus.
Yes,
he was given
as a manager.
He was given a Juventus team, and they'll probably win the league
with Ronaldo in it. So yeah, it's a little different. But that's what I'm saying. You had the Chelsea team of last year, where Lampard was given the team with handcuffs, where it was you can't buy players. This is what you've got. You got to use your youth team to bring players through, and whatever happens. You know, wherever you finish, it's okay. This time, there has to be pressure because you've spent 200 million on players. So, do you think Abramovich thought he did this well and he finished fourth? He should have finished third because you guys were ahead of us, but he finished fourth with that team. I've spent 200 million now. What is Abramovich's expectation?
I think he'll be
because you guys are on the first name basis.
So first of all, I know you're looking at it. We spent 200 and odd million. Okay, I'm looking at it in 3 transfer windows. It's almost like a budget as a company. You are allowed to spend this amount of money, otherwise SARS isn't going to come take it. So you have to spend it. That money was sitting there, waiting to be spent. I think even if Frank Lampard hadn't had a good season, they would have given him money. But because he kind of did better than they expected, they thought, you know what, let's just let this guy go crazy and do whatever he wants.
But then my thing is, so maybe I'm wrong, but 200 million is still 200 million. We spent over 3 seasons or 1.
Yeah.
It's still 200 million worth of talent that you now got. So why is the expectation not higher?
Because ideally, you would want to fit 3 players into a team per season, so you don't upset that whole chemistry.
Is Lampard just getting an easier ride?
No.
Because if this was, I don't know if this is because size of clubs. But
size of clubs?
If this was United,
which is a bigger club.
Yeah, now it is.
If United had just spent 200 million in a window,
which you have on many occasions.
Yeah, but if Ole
Oh, okay.
if Ole had just spent 200 million in a window, okay, maybe last
On-
season.
on- on
Yeah,
the
but
players.
On the type of players that also, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Ole would have been expected to win the title.
Yeah, so normally you buy maybe 2 or 3 players worth 200 million and you get world class players. Zeech and Werner, I think, was a steal. You don't pay 50 million for those calibers of players. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't really rate CH.
Oof.
Maybe because I haven't. Maybe one of the things I haven't seen
He
him
was
play in
the
the
stand-
Premier League.
Yeah.
I know he's a fancy looking
But
player.
you know the Ajax team? You know
Yes.
Van de Beek, what's the other boy's name? De Jong,
Ligt.
the Ligt. He was the standout player in that squad.
Yeah.
I'm just more like.
But,
just-
but I agree with you, and no, I don't agree with you, but I understand why. Because if you look at it's the Dutch league, Dusan Tadic was the captain,
And yeah,
and he was
baller.
he got like 30 goal involvements, like 20 assists, and all this other stuff. Like,
He's actually outperforming CH.
so I get why he says it. However, I bought ZH on FIFA. He's good. He is good.
Easy.
Um,
The pressure that he needs to be the Mahrez of your team.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
And the Mahrez don't actually fit in. He's not in Man City's first team. Though he does play.
I think he will be now because Son is gone. They need.
Yeah, there's not.
Mahrez is the better player. I would put Bernardo Silva in midfield now.
But that's the David Silva. That's another.
Yeah.
I think what will benefit ZH is that there's no direct competition. Like
Yeah,
there
it's
is-
not Hudson
like,
Odoi.
yeah, there's already it's youngsters, but that's not Hudson Odoi. That's his position. Like that he's very young.
Because William left, Pedro left.
So there's no one really going after that position.
And the thing is, we struggled to break down teams last season. We dominated games, but we weren't clever enough. So that's why Lampard, as you rightfully
I
say,
think he's
brought
worth it.
all these forward-thinking players. He wants some guile in
I
him.
think it's what breaking team down is just conceding more than is for scoring.
No, the way to beat Chelsea last season was to defend deep.
And
Leave no space.
Well, our problem.
They watched enough to get frustrated with us.
You just created so many chances. But maybe because you didn't have Werner up front.
Yeah.
So maybe the chances will still come, and Werner will do what he has been doing.
Yeah, we need our midfielders to score goals. More goals. I think Willian was on top and he scored just a flurry of goals towards the end.
I think what's in ZH's favour is that you paid so little for him.
So it won't be like Havertz is going to have
Like
anyone's going to get him,
But
yeah.
ZH, we pay little money, give him my time.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's like that. But we all talk about money because the press talks about money and
Yeah.
it's just how it is now. So
And I think-
ZH will get the time.
And like we're talking about chemistry, I think that's why Ole maybe doesn't want to bring in so many players.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking about, look, I've got a good thing going here, let me not fuck this up now.
I think he wants to, but they just don't want to pay. I think Ole wants to bring in all of these players, but Woodward just doesn't want to spend.
I know you want Jadon Sancho. He says
Because-
he's needed.
I was thinking, yes, there's Jadon Sancho for 100 million. United have such a major scouting system. Why is there no one else? Why is there no backup player for
That's what
40
Gary
million?
said.
50 million. 30, like,
We need to move on from him now. Like, I'm getting bored of reading about this, but
But I think that, and this is the thing, you don't just buy a player because you want to buy a player. It needs to be either better than what you have, or you buy him as a backup. You don't need a backup. You don't need a backup. You need someone better than what you have.
yeah.
Because Greenwood isn't even supposed to be playing right wing.
yeah.
Greenwood's supposed to be a central striker.
Yeah.
He's just that good that he can be put on the wing.
Yeah. Both feet. Okay. So Chelsea to finish where?
Third, but much closer to the top two.
Okay.
And I'm not saying who the top two is. Because I've got a funny feeling United is going to pull off the Sancho transfer.
That's sort of what we do in a
Yeah, but
sense.
Yeah, and
We look at Maguire, Fellaini. Like, I'm just example, like,
Taken to the end.
it goes long in this transfer window, and then last day, deadline day, we buy. And then we pay a little bit more than what the clubs wanted.
So I'm going to
when
be
they started.
controversial and say that it's going to be Liverpool dropping out of the top 4.
Whoa.
I think everybody now knows the threat of Liverpool.
I think
Based on
had we
yesterday's game-
recorded.
Yesterday's game made me.
But they still have.
But this is exactly how they started last year. They struggled against Norwich.
They didn't.
And then they
And against
finished.
Chelsea.
They won that game. And everyone thought like, oh, they're struggling or whatever, and then they won the league. So
But it's again what you said earlier as to why you thought Liverpool won the league. It's like they fight for each other. And last night showed against Leeds that they were never looking like they were gonna lose. They always looked like they want to score the goal to win in the game. As frustrating it is to see, like 1-0, 1-1, you just knew they're gonna score.
I don't think Liverpool had that good a season last season. I think we all just had a bad season last
I
season.
agree.
Look at the points tally. That 66, that's like the lowest ever for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think all the teams
I think David Moyes finished on 66 and he was 6th.
Yeah, you see. So I mean, I don't think it's going to happen again. I think Liverpool's going to kind of be